Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bourbon Neophyte. Glad to have you here. Appreciate you all taking the time to come over here and listen to me gab this evening. Really is great having you here. Seen some people in here a little earlier, but that's all good. Appreciate you popping in and smashing that like button. Marty, yes, I did see you earlier. You were one of the first people chiming in there. Really do appreciate that. I do see that we have Josh in here, and then who else did I see pop in here? Oh, yes, Mr. Morgan. And I did. Sorry, I did see that, but my gosh, that code, holy smokes. It's down here, but it's because the darn juice is so dark, you can't see it. However, I know it's 2020. So yeah, I'm not that lucky. But it's 2020. I did make that out, and I think it was the 24th of June of 2020 to be exact, as I'm trying to get the correct angle on the light and the glare, and yeah, but it's not what I call the golden goose wish, but hey, it is what it is. That's for sure. But yes, Josh, thank you for popping in here. Really appreciate you coming down, saying hello. Always great to have you. And then look at this. Look at this. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Livewire himself, Mr. Stahl. Cheers, brother. Thank you for coming in here saying hello. Peter, cheers, man. Thank you very much. And looky here, all the way down there. I usually think the land of Oz is far, but when you're where Cooler Running is from, to be here talking to me, thank you, sir. Appreciate you popping in, saying hello, smashing that like button. Appreciate you. Ooh, okay. The 2015. Yes, I haven't found one of those, and my bottle isn't one of those lucky ones. But while I'm sitting here, I have been sipping on a little Belvini 15 sherry here, just a tad high on maybe it's 47.8. And I think I've told you all here in the States, they're no longer going to be bringing this in. So if you find it on the shelf and this is one of your favorites, it's not coming here anymore. So if I were you, find it. If you like it, buy yourself a bottle or three, whichever you think, because this isn't coming over here anymore. So, but I thought that would be a good control whiskey to have as I'm sitting here sipping, and just want to say cheers to everybody. Thank you again for popping in here this evening with me. Let me take my sip. Mm-mm-mm. Man, that's such a good sipper. Wow. That sherry is just fantastic. The viscosity on this Belvini, really nice. Nice color, nice viscosity, real creamy mouthfeel, a little spice on the palate. I mean, this is a well-rounded whiskey. Well-rounded whiskey. Really, really. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is the second debut. The first debut was on the Fair Dinkum Mounted Pub, but the third chapter is officially in Las Vegas. The second chapter is in the UK with Martin. The first in the US is Sugar Kitty. So figured I'd leave that up so people can see it. And Ken has approved, so it was all good. And for the inaugural pour for the flag was a 30-year-old Duncan Taylor Scotch I poured and toasted the Las Vegas chapter of the Fair Dinkum Mounted Pub with. So, that being said, ta-da, there it is. Let me move the cup. Bingo. Cheers. I've got the Belvini 15. It's a great sherry bomb, but the Belvini maltiness does get lost in the sherry. Well, good point with that, Brian. Good point. You're right. I don't get that bread note as strong as I do on others, but you know what? I will allow that to slide. I find enough enjoyment in the whiskey, even though that is muddled a bit, but that is an excellent observation. And yes, I concur with you on that. That maltiness is a little subdued now because the sherry influence has pushed over that. But for me, it's a good drop. And I know for some that have had this expression before, like that maltiness, which I do too, which I absolutely do too. I like that maltiness. God, I just love that maltiness. But I will let that slide on this one. You know what? You're not the only one to tell me that. It's funny you should bring that up. Yes, but I'm gonna see. I've actually had this thing for a minute. I just never got around to reviewing it, which is, on my point, just one of those things. Something else has come up, or I got something else, and it's just how it is. And I just decided while I was watching Scotch Down Under this morning, sipping my coffee, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to open that one. I'm going to do it. And then today I'm sitting there and going, well, I got to have some type of a control whiskey, just something to stay with that sherry. And I just looked over and I says, you know what? I haven't had a pour of this in a minute. So let me take another sip of this. That sherry is good on that. Really it is. But let me pull this thing out of here. That's for sure. Agreed. It's not a big downside, but for normal Belvini fans, what they've experienced may not be. Yes. No, you're spot on without a doubt. I will have to agree. But let me open this as we talk a little bit more about the Belvini. Is that on? And cast strength to me has that extra notch. I like 50 ABV in North on bourbon and Scotch. However, the 43, 46 ABV on Scotch sometimes just rings that bell with me. I am a proofy bitch. Everybody knows that. But sometimes on the Scotches, like this is a 46 ABV. Wow, it just ticks all the right boxes, even though I would love to see it at 50 or 51 or 52. I don't know, but let me open this thing here. I don't think I'm going to need my bottle opener. Nope, I was able to grab that tab just nicely. I don't think I've even ever had a sample of this in retrospect of all these samples that I have gotten. I don't think I have had one at all. So I'm just going to give this a little, for just a second there, I thought I twisted the cap off of the cork just for a moment there. The blood started to form in the neck and go up to the head. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm using my professional whiskey taster's glass. So let's pour just a little taste in there. And now I'm going to leave it set for a little bit to open up, but I know there are some people that enjoy Glendronach. It is an older distillery in Scotland. I do believe 1872. I think it was founded. Hold on, let me check my little book here. Got this from Pinch Hitter. 1826. I apologize. 1826 is when it was founded. They have a capacity of 2 million liters. As a side note, Belvini's around 7 million liters. Huge difference in production. But the current owners is Benriach at this current time, as far as I know, as of today, and as my last year's malt whiskey yearbook. Got to get another one, but I like that book. I am so glad that I have gotten it. That's for sure. Okay, the one that stopped being imported, and there's a couple of them, but right now it's this one that I was just having. It's the 15 year. Let me move this over. The 15-year single barrel sherry coming in at 47.8 ABV. Yeah, that's no longer going to be brought in. It's still on the shelves in some places. About $100, $1.25, just depends on where you are. If I'm not mistaken, maybe it's $1.50, but I don't think. Peter, what's it up in Canada for that? I think you can still get it pretty regularly. So this I got, and I was thinking about that. I got this a little more than a year ago, and it might even be closer to 2 now, because my wife was in Florida when she found this. She was just FaceTiming me. She ran across the shelf and it was like, boom. I was like, is that the 15 revival? And she goes back and she goes, yeah. So I had her pick it up, but I think it was around, if the $65 seem about right, maybe 2 years ago, Peter, $70 somewhere in there. And that, man, I tell you what, Macallan, I mean, I have had the 12, and I know I've had the 12. I've had a couple of them, and they weren't terrible, but I wasn't over impressed, particularly at $100 plus a bottle for the 12-year. And I do believe, was it a 14 or 15? I'm going to say Macallan 15, which I found a little more pleasant on the palate, but still it would not make me want to lay down, let's just say 150 to 175 bucks, whatever it was on that 15 or 16. I absolutely forget, because it's been a couple of years, but I've had a couple of pours of the 12 at different places I went to just to try it. And either time, I think one was the double wood, the Macallan double wood, but it did not make me want to run across the street and lay down some dead presidents and buy it. No. Now, my brother-in-law and sister have had the Macallan 25 when they were touring Scotland, and they said it was a magnificent drop. Magnificent drop. And I go, well, I take your word for it, because yeah, I wouldn't know. But yeah, the prices, I really, okay, this is just me. This is just me. I'm not saying there is, but by gosh, with the way a lot of these prices are jumping up on scotches, and not just scotches, whiskey in general, I've got to say there has got to be a little cahoots going on. Ooh, good call there. Good call there. I know it says something on the tube. Now you're going to make me pull this thing up here. Hold on. The single malt has been matured exclusively in Europe oak sherry butts for at least 15 years. Our malt master carefully samples the aged whiskey, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it does say sherry butts, but I mean, on this one is what it says, but I don't know if it's going to be specific. Oh, well. But, and then another good point, you have to look at this stuff. Okay. Yeah, it does note some Brown Forman purchases, but not on mine. But I was not aware, and if I was, I probably forgot about Ben Riach being purchased by Brown Forman. But I know Brown Forman um, owns a couple. Hey, Gandy, cheers. And Tater Dom, appreciate you two popping in here saying hello. Always glad to have you guys. Make sure you smash that like button so darn hard that it hits me right here. Ah, okay. Can't get them in anymore in Canada. Okay. I figured because they stopped bringing that Balvenie here, you guys could probably still get it. But I might have even asked Donald Rance that too. But shoot, I have slept since then. So, oh my goodness. Cheers, Stacy. Thank you for popping in. Great show about punching. I like it. As a matter of fact, I'm still saving that last bit of the Kilwoven right here, the Pachin at 67.5. That's the last little taste right there that I have of it. And I almost was going to pour it with you all, but because I was doing this particular stream and what I was drinking, yeah, that would have that would have taken care of my taste buds. I would have loved to sip on that, but I didn't do it. Outrageous. Yes, Brian, you are again absolutely right. I don't mind paying for good whiskey. No one does. But you just get to a point where it's good but not exceptional whiskey, and at the price you're charging, no. Absolutely positively not. Uh, and you know what? You should. I have Duncan Taylor. I have Alexander Murray. I've got the Old Malt cask. Hey, I tell you what, some of the distillers that they're getting them from, and I'm just going to um, uh, shout out like which one was that? Camdow for my malt cask one. Yeah, they're exceptional. Some of the stuff that they're getting from there, they're exceptional. I don't know why they sold it unless they had enough to meet what they wanted, or it just didn't quite meet the profile they wanted for what they were doing. I don't know, but I tell you what, I agree that everyone should look at some of those non-producing distillers that buy from these distilleries over there in Scotland and bottle them under the Alexander Murray brand, but they'll say Highland Park, 15 or 12 year or something. Even though you might have a Highland Park, what I find is sometimes there is a good bit of difference between A and B, particularly that brand for what reason. But yeah, no, but uh, I haven't been paying attention to that, Ben. But now that you did, I will pay better attention to it. All righty, let me just jump down here. Oh, or the color is the color is the tail. This is the Belvini right here. It's it is just it's a great color. Matter of fact, I can smell it. That just that little bit that sherry just pops out of there. But like it was stated, that the maltiness that I'm getting, all right, I think it's coming out of the Glendronach, but it's like I'm getting a touch of malt in the air. But yeah, it is not as pronounced. It is not as pronounced as some. Yeah, the color is good. I know they don't add color. Sorry. The color is good. So I will go out on a limb and say I'm gonna say their first fill, but I don't know. But with this particular bottle I have, I'm quite satisfied. I'm quite satisfied with the flavor. Hey, Paul. Cheers, man. Always great to see you. Thanks for popping in. Glen Glassall, that's it. Boy, I tell you what, love the Port Snoy, love the Sands End from Glen Glassall. Matter of fact, I was out and about today and talking to a few people, and particularly I was talking to some about Scotch, and one of the ones I recommended was the Glen Glassall Sands End, which they took. So I really hope that they enjoy it. And then another guy was looking at the Knob Creek, and he's looking at the single barrel. And I said, for $1 less, that 12-year, I said, just my opinion. I go, it is great whiskey. It's well rounded for $1 less. I go, but again, I told him I'm a proofy bitch, but that 12-year-old's 100 proof. And if you've never had a single barrel, then go ahead and spend the extra dollar and grab that. But yeah, I just that Glen Glassall to me is a very, very nice pour. Nice pour. Um, I don't think I've seen a lot of Ornicky, but Highland Park is very pronounced on the independent bottlers. Hey, Paul, cheers, man. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Not sure what you're talking about there, Ben. Oh, got it. You know what? It definitely is a good drop. I am going to give it another week, and I'm going to go back to it. I was pretty surprised on that original Offerman that I reviewed last week, Ben. Um, a predominant citrus note on there. Sweet up front, boom, sweet up front, Lagavulin smoke, um, but citrusy and with a nice spice to it. A nice spice to it. So I'm going to give it some time to open up and see what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Just to give it its due, and I might even go another week and give it another go. But I just put it back here before the stream. I had it sitting out here because I thought I'd get back into it this past week, but I didn't. I didn't touch it. Oh, the Campbelltown. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's right. I'm just gonna say I almost forgot JD. Hey, brother, cheers. Hey, did you get what I sent you through PayPal, JD? Yeah, I tell you what, that is to me for a relatively new whiskey. I know it closed down for a while, started back up, but I would tell you what, I really liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was a very nice pour. Then I went out and got the Sansa or the Portsnoy with that touch of peat. Wow, that's another good one. So the 12 year is now on the shelf here, so I'll probably pick that up, and that'll complete my collection of Glenglassaught's core range uh, from that distillery. But I like them. I honestly do like that whiskey. I would have no problem bringing that out for you, for JD, anybody. If James was visiting from across the pond, yeah, I'd definitely lay something like that out. I mean, to me, it is definitely a decent dram for the money, and the flavor is there. The finish is good. I'm not going to say super long. No, that would be incorrect. But um, so I'm very happy with Glenglassaugh. I think it's really a good whiskey for the money, particularly those three at $60, $65 a bottle. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's all I want. I don't want you to be out any cash money in case you see something you got to have, brother. You know, I don't care how long it takes to get here. That I don't care. I just don't like uh, me owing somebody a buck for something. And I know you weren't worried, but it's just a fact of the matter. But thank you for picking that up for me. Really, I do appreciate it. You know, that's one thing I can say about everybody here. You really are a generous group. Um, Anytime I say, "Holy smokes, I'd love to have that bottle," whatever, and boom, next thing I know, I'm getting an email and letting me know that somebody can pick one up for me, whatever. So I truly do appreciate that, and particularly the talk that we have about what bottles are where, the prices and stuff. And today I had a conversation at a bottle shop, and I told you about, hey, I recommend this, recommend that. But anyway, and funny one is somebody said to me they heard me talk, and I was talking to a bunch of people, and we were all talking for about a half hour about different whiskeys. But uh, a lady come up to me and she says, "You seem like you pretty much know whiskey." I chuckled. I said, I don't know a thing. But she showed me this one whiskey. She says, "What do you think about it?" I says, "What I think is you should put it back on the shelf where you got it." It's what I think. I said, "There's a reason why it's put up there and kind of like drawing your attention to it is because they can't give it away." My words. I didn't say it to her, but I just told her there's a reason why it's up there. You need to put it back on the shelf. Don't buy that. Do not buy it. I can't remember the name, but it's some type of a apple cider something. I'm like, oh no, no, no. Put that up there. Don't do it. And they're the ones that picked up the Glenglassaugh. And so I know that the whiskey they got was 1,000 times better than the whiskey they put back. That's for sure. But um, they seem to have a good palate just in the conversation I had with them, because they also mentioned some of the other whiskeys they got. I went, oh, well, yeah, they definitely wouldn't want that other one that they picked up. Oh, I am a sherry fan. And I'm a sherry fan. And when you tell me it's a sherry finished Scotch, yes, pour me some. I want to taste it. I prefer the PX sherry. I just think it's richer. I think it has a little bolder on the. I think it's a little bolder on the flavor. Um, Even maybe a touch on the fruit, and I think it's darker. But that's just me. That's a preference on me. You get something finished all 15 years in an Oloroso, it's dark too. So, you know, we're going to see. As a matter of fact, I haven't opened it, but I have shown it last week. I've shown it before. I've I picked this up. It's the 15. Now this was finished all 15 years in what was it, Oloroso? But God, I forget now. But all 15 years in the sherry cask. So, and I actually had a nice pour of this last week. And yeah, just take my money. Take my money. So I told my wife that's one of the Christmas presents she got me. And I told her, I says, you just, I won't open it until after Christmas. I already had a pour. So, and then I ever told everybody, if you see it, oh yeah, buy it. But again, oh well. So, oh, I know. It's outstanding. Okay, I'll tell the story again. I told last week. So I go down to the shop I go to, and I know a guy well there. I mean, he knows Scotch. He knows bourbon, wines. I mean, but he and I we go back and forth on Scotch when we're down there. This, that, this, that, this, that. Anyway, when I got there last week, he says, "Oh my gosh, you got to come here. I got something you've got to have." Blah 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 blah. So we go back there, and he pours me a nice Glen, and I'm not talking the you've all went to tastings. They have this little thimble thing that they give you, and they go, "Oh, here, try this," and you try it, and you go, well, I need a little more or whatever, and they're reluctant or they don't give you any more. So he's like, I really want to, I got to taste, but I need to actually be able to taste it. Give me that second or third sip. He he poured me a drink, and I could sit there and experience that dram. And he says, I think there's only one left. And I said, well, let's get over there. So that's how I got that in my hand. I was just like, I couldn't let it go. When I took that when I nosed it, let me just say when I nosed it, was like, boom, oh my gosh. And then I took that first sip. It was sublime. It was just wonderful. I mean, just wonderful. So yes, you are absolutely correct. It is. I think I got mine for 115 is what it was when I walked out of there, which I had a coupon, so I got a little bit off of it. So I think they were selling it for, let me just think. I don't want to misquote, but about 120 bucks. So anyway, yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. And that it was that the is that the cast one? God, I gotta look. Let me reach over here. Sorry. Yes, 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 yes. So in this one, it's the 15, the tam down the 15 in in this one, and it's sherry. But I can tell you the sherry 15 on this is not the same as this one. Yeah, it's not the same. They're the same 15 year, but finished differently. But this is one of the independent bottlers that put this on here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Hunter Lang is this one, but oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a good drop in itself. But uh yeah, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here from what I really was doing, but it's okay. Oh, Danny, yeah, it is. I am convinced the 12, the 15, the 18, they're they're drops you got to have. Drops that you got to have. Oh, that's good, JD. I haven't seen it, but I know that's got to be terrific. Yeah, it just absolutely has to be. Oh my gosh, that's what you were talking about for $45? The cash strength? Oh yeah, absolutely. That's almost a you buy it and then you buy the backup for 45 damn dollars. Oh yes. That is a great, great price. It is. It is. Absolutely it is. But you know what? I would pay $60 for it, James. I wouldn't have a problem paying $60 for it. That's for sure. Oh, Brian, how are you? Appreciate you popping in here tonight, man. Thank you. Hope you're doing well, sir. I haven't seen you around in a bit. I know you've been, but I just haven't been where you were. But great to see you. So, okay. So let's get into this Glendronach. Now, this definitely, the malty note on this Glendronach does surpass the Belvini. It certainly does. A little chocolate and I don't know, pear, apricot, honey on the nose. Wow. Almost like a prune, fig, maybe date. I don't know. Definitely honey, definitely chocolate, um, like a apricot pear note. Yeah, the chocolate for sure. The chocolate is on the nose. That's something. Well, if it grabs if it's got that strong citrus aftertaste, yeah. And that's how the young notes in whiskey, be it bourbon or Scotch, uh, manifest to me. I can taste on there. And anytime that I'm in doubt, I go for a Scotch that's an NAS that I know is maybe 4 to 6 or maybe 4 to 8 year old, and I'll take a few sips of it and go, okay, yep, that's it, that's it, that's it, just to just to reinforce what I already know. Well, the Glendronach has a little spice to it. Wow. Sorry, I just kind of just jumped right in there as I'm reading the comments and stuff. There's something peculiar on the finish. It isn't bad, but I don't know what it is, but it's definitely chocolate. I'm getting that, especially on the retrohale. I'm getting the spice on the side, a little citrus note, creamy. I don't. I'm gonna get another sip there and see if I can detect the bread notes from the maltiness. Hmm. Yeah, a little more maltiness than what I pick up on the Belvini, but yeah, there's that little bit of a citrus note on the finish as it rolls across the tongue. There's a little spice, like a black pepper spice, but it's not overpowering anything, and that's mostly on the finish. It still has a nice viscosity to it. Definitely get the chocolate on the nose. Definitely get. I'm going to lean more towards. I'm going to lean more towards like a peach or apricot, something like that on the nose. I said pear, but no, but definitely honey, chocolate, apricot, or peach. A, a date, a fig, on the nose now that I've had a couple of sips. But, hmm, I guess you have. That's for darn sure. Well, I think if you talk to a lot of people that drink Scotch, Peter, I think the consensus would be yes. When we had when we've had this explosion that we've had over the last few years, let's just say 5 years, and how it's really done an uptick, and then the pandemic really pushed it through. I think that both of you are correct. I think that the age of the whiskey has suffered. You're getting, let's just say, the 15-year, but you may not be getting some of that 18, 20-year-old mixed in with it that might have come before. Or in some cases, it's between 18 and 19 years old. They just bottled it as a 15 to push it out there because, they just have tons of it. But anyway, yes, I think it does. Oh yeah. Yeah, I get it on the nose. I definitely get it on the nose, Brian. It is there on this. But I think it's a great, great drop. But there's something else. Licorice. Licorice. How about that? Licorice is on the retrohale there. I'm not saying it's black licorice, but I think licorice. Okay, well then I've got that. That's what this is. This is a 2020, so I'm going to say it's probably that. I like the PX, but I don't taste the influence of PX, right now. But licorice, that's that one I can't. I couldn't put my finger on. Like, what the heck is that? I was just in. Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Couple up. Yeah. But in general, I'm sorry. I should have prefaced it. In general, whiskey, period. I think a lot of them are using younger whiskeys. When I say younger, maybe using this one at 15, not some older whiskeys blended into it. So that's the point I was making. I think a lot of them are, and I don't want to say cheapening the whiskey, but you're not just getting the older, more mature and rounded whiskeys blended in like you used to. Yeah, yeah. I would tend to agree with you on that, Brian. I tell you what, I'd love to find something like that still on the shelf all these years somewhere that just, when they were restocking, it just got pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. But yeah, I'm not going to get that lucky. I mean, that'd be like hitting the lotto mega bucks or whatever they call the state lotteries, because we don't have state lotteries in Nevada because we have gambling in Las Vegas. You cannot have a state lottery. That is against the law. Can't take away from the casino's profit. Come on. Let me just say this. I think the Belvini definitely beats this hands down, but I'm going to have a few sips of it because I've got it right here. But to me, the edges on the Belvini are way more polished. And it's just a smidge higher proof, almost by 2 points. And so Beautiful nose still. Beautiful nose. Yeah. I mean, you called it. It stomps it. It stomps it right to the curb, hands down, the Belvini. But, for me to pull out and have a sip twice a week or so, I'd grab the Glendronach. Not because I don't like the Belvini. It's just that until I pick up my backup of this, it's one of the ones that I will hold back on. But yeah, the Belvini whoops it hands down, without a doubt. Oh, hmm. Hazelburn 15. Darn it. I uh just for a moment there, I thought I might know where one is. Brian was like, I think I got a sample of that, but I don't recall the box off the top of my head, and I am not going to go into the corner there and start going through it. But that one I would have pulled out in a heartbeat and going, oh yeah, that would be a good one to compare it with the Belvini. But oh well, darn it. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. There's always another time. Well, I don't think they were always your favorite, right, JD? I haven't seen that at all, James. Hey, Big Vic. Cheers, man. To you, sir. Thank you for popping over here, saying hello. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Mm. Ah, it's good. Yeah, without a doubt, the in a taste test, the Belvini would win. The Cavalon Sherry, I haven't had it, but yeah, I've heard good things about that whiskey. Really good things about that whiskey. Yes, I thought you and I had a conversation at one time about that Glendro. That's what I thought you said. The stuff prior to was great. The stuff that they have come out with since has been okay. Nothing that has caused you to want to lay down some more dead presidents over. So that's understandable. Oh, of course. Oh, of course. There's no, yeah, yes. Um, when you jump up a little bit, and sometimes even if you stay at a 15, just like on the Belvini, it's a little more refined, a little more polished, a little creamier on the finish. I really love the sherry on the Belvini. And the Glendronach, in my opinion, is fine. It's a good whiskey. Buy it. I don't have a problem with anyone. I think it's good. Um, but yeah, when you get up to that 18 and 21, it's the experience changes. The experience changes. And if your palate can pick it up, it is something. That is what I like to tell people. The experience is what changes from, let's just say, a 10 to 12 to 15 to 16, 18, 21, whatever. When you start moving up, that experience generally is going to change, where the whiskey really develops into its own, and the whole thing just really starts to shape up and come together. And on the palate, it is a delight. It is a delight. Rob D, cheers, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for popping in here. And then, oh my gosh, I got to come down here because look who's here. What's up? Cheers, brother. Let me raise a glass of Belvini 15 here to you. Cheers, everyone, for popping in here. Thank you very much. Mm. That was good. Always appreciate people when they pop in here. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Clearing the Belvini out there, but yeah, that Hazelburn, that would have been a good one if I would have been really into it. Into it when I really been thinking about it because I was doing a few other things today. But that would have been another good one to grab with that and try it. But like I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Maybe I will put together a little flight when I find that the Glendronach, the Belvini, my Tamdow that I got there, and it's not Glenkinchie. Got another one, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But that's okay. That is okay. But anyway, put something together like that and compare and contrast them, go up and down the ladder a little bit, and see what we've got. But anyway, I think I'm spoiled now. I'm definitely leaning more towards and wanting the Belvini over the Glendronach, but I'm satisfied with the purchase. I know it's been a couple of years, but I'm good with it, and I will definitely have another pour of it this week. Well, let me think. Yeah, it's very possible I could. Trying to think with the holiday, got some things going on. Well, yeah, probably just to get it to the shoulder, cork it, and then come back to it maybe in just before Christmas or something like that. And oh, speaking of that, myself, Whiskey Nose, and Mr. Great Shot, we have a flight that we got from our great grandfather, Mr. Old Man McDonald. So I don't know if it'll be on my channel or Whiskey Nose's channel, but we're going to be having a little get together and we're going to be sipping some scotches together from great grandpa McDonald. So we got to put that together. So that will be an up and coming one. We have no idea what's in there. No idea. So we're going to be getting into that. I just got to get with one so we can get with the other and get that show ready to roll. uh, joke, joke. Yeah. Shoot. Was it in 2022? Yeah. The 50-year Glendronach was released. Could you just imagine what that is? Could you just imagine? Lord, 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 Lord. Let's see. In 2010, they released a 31-year-old Glendronach. So, yeah. Has anybody tried the Glendronach traditionally peated? I'm glad I went back and looked at this because I haven't heard of it until I looked at this book. It was a cask bottlings release. I've not heard of it until I looked at this, and that would enthuse me to look for it, but I doubt if it's, it's still sitting there, but I'd like to try just because it's peated. That's for darn sure. But like I said, until I looked through this today and I forgot about it until I just looked at it again, I went, oh yeah. So they had the portwood, traditionally peated, and batch 18 of the cask bottling release was released. Those were released in 2019. Okay. Now beyond okay. Got it. Understood. Yeah, I never heard of that traditionally peated. I'm like, oh, somebody said peat. So that, of course, immediately sparked my interest. That I was like, oh, I don't know if we could find any of those sitting around, but I'm not going to spend disgusting money on it, but to throw a dead president in it, like a Benjamin Franklin or something like that, yeah, I'd throw one down there and pick up a bottle of it if it was still available. But if it's disgusting, yeah, no. And if it's as rare as you're saying, or what it is, yeah, it's behind glass somewhere in a museum, I'm sure. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about doing too much due diligence, just because one, availability, and two is the price. But I just didn't ever think they had anything like that until I had a chance to read this. Hey, Steve, cheers, man. Appreciate you coming in. Let me raise a little Glendronach here. It's just what I happened to reach down and grab. Cheers, brother. Thanks for popping in, smashing that like button, and saying hello to everybody. Appreciate you. I'm telling you, this is chocolate. This Glendronach is chocolate, right? Smack dab chocolate, licorice. And it's not off-putting. I'm not a licorice fan, but it's not off-putting at all. Oh, well, for you, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think so either, because like I said, 19, it was out. I've never heard of it, period, until I read it. And I haven't heard anyone talk about it in the circle that I'm in. And there are some people that know Scotch in the circle I hang out with. But that being said, um, that's why I just inquired about it. I figured somebody would start to fill me in and let me know what's what. And here we go. That's why I do love these chats, and I learn more and more and more all the time. But I do like this darn book. I got to get the new one, but I really like this book. This was, like I said, I got this off of the Pitch Hitter. Um, Won that from them, so it was like, oh, that's great, 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 great. Okay, all right, hold on here, hold on here. I'm loading it up. Here we go. All right, age 20 years. Oh yeah. Okay. Over $400 a bottle. Okay. Got it. Batch 11 single cat vintage January 28th of 94, bottled November of 14, Oloroso sherry butts. Number of bottles 624, coming in at 56.6 ABV, or 700 ml bottle. Wow. Okay, that would explain it. You know? Yep, that would explain it. So now I know the rest of the story. Thank you, sir. I just went and highlighted that thing and popped it up. Let me just see if this is going to cooperate. Let's see. Bingo. Hold on. Let me go over here. There we go. This is what Peter had sent me in regards to the bottle I was talking about. And this is the single cask bottling. And so he found it and brought up. So now I can get a C. Yeah, that's why. So there you go, everybody. Now you see it. Now you see it. But looks like a decent dram, but yeah, not at that price range for me. That's for sure. But thank you, sir. But there's what we're talking about there. So thank you. All right. Now let me sip a little bit more on the Glendronach. Okay. I understand, but I appreciate that. I like that. I mean, that's what I wanted to see. So that's what you were talking about back in the day. You had those, you were just eating high on the hog. Okay. Wow. That darn thing looks so dark for a 20-year-old. Wow. Sorry, I'm just eyeballing that bottle again. It's like, oh my gosh. That was some dark whiskey. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, yeah. Bottle 415 of 624. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Well, I have a museum store not far from me on North Decatur and the 215 out here, Brian. I call it the museum store. Big Vic's been there. Chris and Lil have been there. Shane has been in there. Who was all with us that day? We went in there, but believe me, even Chris and Lil said the prices that they have on things, they can get it cheaper for in Australia, than what they were selling them for there. Is like redonkulous in price. Redonkulous. I haven't stepped foot in that store in about up at least 2 years. No reason to go there. I mean, I found a couple things there before that I knew was an okay price, and I had purchased it. But holy smokes, some of the prices are just absolutely redonkulous up there. I mean, redonkulous. But there's an ass for every seat, and somebody will come along and buy that stuff. They'll do it. So a lot of places, I guess, have money to tie up and put product on the shelf. But let me tell you what, you don't make money like that. You need to turn product over. I can understand that you buy it at a price and you want to get a certain price for it. But do you want to wait 3, 6, 9 months, a year to make your money? That's a lot of time to have uh, and money invested in a bottle that you're not going to turn over. Ah, man. But no, liquor lineup. No, no, I still go there, Brian. I still go there. That's right down the street for me by 10 blocks. That's liquor lineup 2. Now they have liquor lineup 3, and that's a little further away. But I don't know if you remember Steve. He was at the one just literally down the street from my house. When I say down the street, it's like I said, 10 blocks. I could walk there or drive there and stumble back, one of the two. He went and opened up the new one this summer that's a little further north on of me, but no, but that's still going strong. And uh, between two places, that's pretty much where they get my money. And I like to go to Steve, but okay. Okay. Yes, you can call it the Centennial one because we're not far from that, but Centennial's a little further west. But yes, yes, that's Decatur and Ann is where you and I had met right there, Decatur and Ann. This one is Centennial, but further north. Further north. So that's well, they call it 11 now. It was 93. So they call it Interstate 11 now, but we know it is 93, 95 because 93 and 95 merge together as you head south into like Boulder City, Laughlin. Okay. And for me going to Yuma, I'm heading south. But anyway, you are right. That's where he was. Now he's up at the new one. Oh, yeah. They're expensive. They are expensive. No doubt about it. So subconsciously, even though I was thinking Glendronach, I reached for the Belvini just because we're talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get a sip here. But I definitely prefer the Belvini over the Glendronach, without a doubt. But there's definitely chocolate and licorice, but there's the more I sip on this, I pick out the other little things, but there's still something else in there. I don't know what it is that I'm getting on the palate. The licorice, yes, the chocolate on the nose, the sweetness of the sherry, that's here. I just can't make the connection in my head. The chocolate, peach apricot, honey, licorice, spice, like black pepper spice. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's something I've had, just don't know, or I've never had, so definitely don't know. But I don't know. They're just before live wire, JD. I'm gonna jump in about another 10 to 15 minutes. Then I told the wife she can take me out to dinner tonight. So that's what we're gonna do because last week I covered a little bit for uh, live wire, but stuff and whiskey. I always get it backwards. But they were doing something, and so I broke. And I stayed on until like 6:30, give or take, because I got the time wrong when they started. But anyway, broke and went over there. But I'll be on here for maybe another 10, 15 minutes before I have my wife take me to dinner tonight. But so in everything else, the Glendronach is good, guys. I mean, really, it's good. But I prefer the Belvini over it. The Belvini does have a little more viscosity. I love the flavor in the Belvini, and that little extra in the proof gives it that little more punch. But the Glendronach has a little something that the Belvini doesn't, where I definitely get a stronger chocolate note. I get that licorice, which again, I'm not fond of licorice in general, but this is not bad on there. The palate is nice. The spice is nice on there. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say I said peach. I said apricot. It's long. It's definitely not a peach. I'm going to go apricot. I said pear, and then I took it back. I'm going to say that, but definitely dates, plum, fig type of a note on there. I like that. I think it's an enjoyable whiskey. It is not terrible. It is not stellar. Belvini beats it hands down, but that wasn't supposed to be what I was really getting into. But the truth is the truth. You know, it's a good whiskey. It's definitely is a good whiskey. I love the color on it. I love the flavor on it. It wasn't terribly priced. Unfortunately, I really truthfully don't remember it exactly because it's been a year or more since I've had the bottle. And I know my wife picked it up for me, but I really do uh, I like the whiskey by itself, by itself, but with the Belvini 15, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, Peter said it's gonna stomp it, and it stomped it. It absolutely, positively, without a doubt, did. I mean, I didn't have any preconceived notions or anything like that, and not because he had said it would. Oh yeah, I went to it. No, the Belvini has been a flavor bomb, a sherry bomb, just an excellent dram every time I've had it out of my bottle. I knew it would be a heavyweight compared to this, but I don't know. I'm gonna get that Glendronach down to the shoulder. Get that thing down to the shoulder there to be another decent dram, maybe two, and just let us see how it opens up here over the next couple of weeks. I know somebody that would like to have a taste of it, so I'll drop off a sample to them and get their unbiased, honest opinion, good, bad, indifferent, um, and see how they rate it. JD, I actually haven't. However, I do have a bottle. ASMR whiskey was so nice to pick one up for me at Costco. So he has that. I just haven't been able to meet up with him to do the handoff. And I touched it today at a bottle shop I was at, but I already have one. But I already pretty much know, and I haven't sipped it, but that's the bottle. That is the bottle. Everyone says that is a really good whiskey. It's age stated 8 years. 8 years, 101 proof turkey. So yeah, I have it. I just haven't touched it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have it next week. Maybe I'll have it the week after that. I don't know. I know Whiskey Nose had done a review on it. I haven't. I need 2 of the 70th. I'm gonna leave the, old granddad on the shelf because I can buy that here all day long for about 200 bucks, but it's not worth it. But I didn't see it on the shelf anymore at Total Wine when I was down there. I didn't specifically look for it, but it was at eye height. It was 189 or 199, I forget when I saw it last week, but somebody came in there and bought that sucker. Well, hey, good for you. It's your money. You want to buy it, you go ahead. I hope you think it's enjoyable. I hope you really like it. Blah 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 blah. But you know what? I've got too many people telling me no, no, for 25 bucks, 27 bucks, 30 bucks, depending upon where you are. Get the old granddad 130 or 114, and you will be much happier. Much happier. Oh yeah, pass. Absolutely, positively pass on that. Um, but some people are OGD fanboys and girls, which is fine. You want to drop the coin on it, you go right ahead just to show people you got the bottle. But my FOMO days are long gone. True story. Somewhere up here, I've got Remus 5. Remus 5. Had it since it come out. I've never opened it. I don't have the FOMO. I've had a taste. I got a sample from somebody, so I've tasted it and go, oh shit, that's good. The 5's sitting here somewhere. I don't remember where it's at. That's what happens after a while. I used to be able to go and pull it right off the shelf. I don't know if it's on the shelf or in a box now, but I haven't touched it. Haven't touched it. Don't even have the urge to open the bottle at all. Now, one I got to go back to, one I have to go back to, and I haven't touched it in a minute, is my, hold on before I open my mouth, make sure it's still up there. My Blood Oath. I bought that about 4 years ago. I think I've had maybe 4 or 5 glasses out of it. Ain't been back to it in a minute, and someone mentioned Blood Oath, so I got to go and I got to go and get in on that thing again because it's just sitting up there, but it's way up there, right next to the 3 or 4 Bookers I got that I don't open, well, because I've had them, you know. Oh, speaking of great granddad McDonald, there he is. If you were fortunate enough to go to 15 bottle to the things you were getting, yeah, you know, if you weren't worrying about getting the Jello shots with the prune juice in it, you would have heard. We already went over that there, great granddad. We already talked about that. That's for darn sure. Already talked about that, but we also we're talking about that. I got your stuff you dropped off, and got to get with Marty and Great Shot to get a date worked out. Absolutely, that is absolutely it. Oh, I'm going to partake, sir. I am going to partake. I am always thankful for a meal. Doesn't have to be a particular day. I'm thankful every day to have a meal or 3. Oh, I'm laughing because when you find something and you do that double and sometimes a triple take on that bottle or whatever, you go, is this really what I think it is? And the price isn't terrible. You don't want to like scream, yell, and jump up and down. But, you know, I understand. I'm laughing because I can understand what you did when you saw that bottle, like, did I really just look at what I think I just am looking at and holding in my hand? Yes. Totally, totally got you, man. And that's good. That is so good. Mr. Rance, good evening, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Oh, yeah. I tell you what, best thing I ever did, switched apartments years ago, get my holidays off, got my weekends off, and now I work for the school district. And yeah, I definitely don't work holidays. I don't work nights. I don't work weekends. And I'm pretty much taking most of next week off. I just go in for 2 days and I'm off. That is for sure. And then all of Christmas week, that week of Christmas, I'm off. That's it. Done. Seniority really is nice. I am not going to be there. But let me raise this glass of Belvini here and say cheers to Mr. ASMR whiskey. His ears had to have been ringing because I was talking about my my purchases and that you have found that wonderful juice for me, particularly the wild turkey, and that someday soon you and I are going to do the meetup and exchange. So thank you, sir. But Livewire whiskey will be coming on in 7 minutes, folks. You don't want to miss that. I guarantee it. You don't want to miss it. So I'm going to break here, give you all a chance to take a break, get some water, stretch your legs, and get ready for a little Livewire whiskey here. It'd be 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock up where Mike is, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Or excuse me, I apologize. It'll be 6 my time. Sorry, I had to think about that. I forgot. He is up and over one, so he's 1 hour ahead of me. So I said that right. He's 7 o'clock. So there we go. I've almost got confused. So anyway, oh, wait a minute. Here, what do we got? Hey, I am not far there, great grandpa. I am not far. That's for darn sure. Yeah, you know what? Now I'm at the point where I don't care what you pay me. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to be right here. That is for sure. All right, everybody. I will see you. I will most likely not be on this coming Sunday because we'll be spending time with family. But if I am, you'll know because you'll see the thumbnail. So, everyone, until I see you, cheers. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for popping in here tonight and look forward to seeing you again. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.